Well, as part of our My Empowerment series, I'm so pleased to welcome back a guest who has shared so much with us here on The Balancing Act. He has taught us that the first 15 minutes of your morning set the mood for the rest of your day. He's taught us how to be debt-free, which has just been so great for so many of our viewers. And he has even talked with us about relationships with our children and our loved ones. I'd like to welcome back to the show Boaz this morning. Good morning, Boaz. Good to see you.
Good morning, Daniela. Pleasure always to be here.
All right, what have you been up to, my friend, since the last time I saw you?
I've spoken all over the country, and we're also getting emails from our viewers on our segments.
Really?
So we want to encourage them to do that because we're going to start answering some of their questions before long.
All right, so here's the subject matter of today, which I have to tell you I love. How to create that kind of championship, that winning attitude. And I know for a lot of people, it's not quite as easy as it is for other people. How do we develop that kind of champion win, never say die attitude?
Okay, let me first give you the definition of, to me, what a champion is. It's not somebody who always wins. It's just somebody who gets up quicker when they fall down. You know, we think the people who win the Super Bowl or the World Series, they're the champions.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually the people who go out and work every day and try to make their way forward in this economy who are champions. A real champion is just one who has learned how to come back faster when they fall down, because the only thing we have constant is change.
Absolutely, and we've all been in those situations where we have faced adversity, and it's the people, as you said, who kind of overcome that and end up being the ultimate winners. So talk to me a little bit more about what is it that most people do? What's the general attitude of the average person? And be honest, Boaz.
I will, because
Okay.
we are honest with our viewers. The majority of people in this particular economy are negative. You know, I can't get ahead, can't find a job, nobody seems to like me. It is something that we are prone to go toward the negative more than the positive.
Right.
Because it's easier. It's easier. If I'm negative and I say I can't find a job, it gives me also an excuse for not making a better effort. So I find the majority of people these days have more of a negative attitude than a positive, because that's the more natural inclination. It's easier.
All right, well, let's not be easy. We want to kind of maybe take the hard route. How do we develop that positive, that champion attitude?
Well, the first thing, as we talked before, is what you do first thing in the morning makes all the difference in the world. Stating positive affirmations as opposed to negative ones can make all the difference in the world as to our attitude every day.
Well, you know, the first thing I do is turn on the news. I love
I
watching the
understand,
news
but you and I used to be newscasters.
Yeah,
They
well,
didn't tell us.
that's why.
They didn't tell us to find positive stories. I'd say turn off radio or television news, stop the paper for a while.
No.
Positive affirmations first thing in the morning, reading positive books, listening to upbeat music. Makes all the difference in our attitude every day.
You know, I have to tell you, sometimes it's hard to be positive when you wake up in the morning and the first thing you're hearing is, Mommy, 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 he took this, he took that. What am I wearing for school? I have 3 children under the age of 10. How do we develop that positive champion attitude in our kids? Because you know, at those ages, their brains are like sponges, so they're ready to take that information in.
They are, and we have to be very careful, because most people don't pay much attention to what they're saying around their kids, and then they wonder, how come a child grows up with a negative attitude, the opposite of a championship attitude?
Right.
So one of the things we've done it here and with your kids, is we have a sign.
Do you know why I love that sign?
Why?
I have it. And right in front of my kids' door. So when they get up in the morning before they go to school, they have to hit that sign and repeat this mantra. Every day I play like a champion. And I can't tell you how much that has resonated with my boys, Boaz.
Absolutely, because they're getting a solid impression of something that is really good for them. So I was doing a seminar in Atlanta for a large organization, and the CEO of the company got the sign, made copies, put it up all over the company. And people would see him touching it, and they liked that a lot. So he took the sign, put it up at home, on the doorpost going out to the garage where he took his boys to school every day. This is a year and a half ago. They were 11 and 13 at the time. Average students, nothing special. He starts touching the sign every morning. His boys start touching the sign every morning. A year and a half later, they are A students, top athletes, leaders in scouting. They have become what they have been touching. I know what you're saying, Boaz, sounds like a bunch of brainwashing. That's exactly what it is, efficiency, Brett, but in the right direction.
Right. See, and it's a positive attitude that I think makes all the difference. But that's the kids. What about relationships with your spouse? I mean, sometimes it does get a little difficult if we're being honest. How do we kind of keep that positivity going and kind of infuse that championship attitude into a marriage, into a relationship with your significant other?
Really very important. We've talked before about about this book, Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich,
Napoleon
yes.
Hill, in this book, written in 1935, still totally applicable today, in it he says, we are all like radio stations. We send out signals. So let's say you and I are in a marriage, and let's say that I have subconsciously been thinking that you're not loving anymore. So I'm thinking that every day. I'm giving myself that affirmation. You're not loving anymore. So in essence, what I'm doing is I'm building an emotional wall between us. Even if you attempt to be loving toward me, I'm going to say, no, she's not loving anymore. So I'm going to look at you in a certain way, and you will read that attitude very clearly. So what if for 30 days I just pretend, I say an affirmation to myself, Danielle is very loving. Danielle is very loving. So for those 30 days, I'm going to let the wall down. You will see a different look from my eyes, and that will change the whole attitude between us. You'll be able to come forth because I have taken the wall down, and that changes the attitude.
Boaz, you are just the man. You've covered the hubby, you've covered the kids, you've covered everything in terms of having that championship attitude. Score one for Boaz.
Thank you very much.
I'm Team Boaz. Thank you, Boaz, for
pleasure.
being here. It was great to see you. And Boaz, again, will be back as part of our My Empowerment series. But to keep up with his tips and to receive his weekly power notes, you can sign up on our website, thebalancingact.com, and click on the Boaz link. And don't forget that while you're there, you can also acquire on information in terms of how you can hire Boaz for speaking engagement.